exciting time. So you are the year-round vegetable garden expert, and we will get to that. But let's talk about your newest book, Growing Undercover: Techniques for More Productive, Weather-Resistant, Pest-Free Vegetable Garden. You explain how to use low tunnels, row covers, etc. to extend the season and help with the continual varied weather that we seem to be having and continuing to experience. Now, some people may think like, I'm not going to use a low tunnel because it's useless. The weather is going to do whatever it wants to do. But how do simple things like using low tunnels or shade cloth help? What is some of the science there, especially for those apprehensive to try?
Yeah, my garden covers have been a game changer, I think is the best way to think of it in my garden. And they're my garden insurance because I live in Zone 5B. We have long, harsh winters. We have, lovely summers, but lately, the past, decade or so, they're drier. And when it does rain, it's like downpours for like half an hour, which can wash away seeds and seedlings. We get hurricanes, we get nor'easters. So the weather is more unsettled. So all of these covers I use, they help me prevent pest problems like deer, rabbits, groundhogs, potato beetles, cucumber beetles. They help me extend the season year round. And they also protect, and create microclimates around my plants just during especially those shoulder seasons of spring and fall. So I use a lot of different types of covers. To increase yield and protect from pests, everything from a row cover, which can be temporary protection, just even for frost for a night or two. I mean, I know the day I put my tomatoes in, which is today, I usually would get a frost in the evening. It's pretty much a guarantee. And, instead of just saying, well, it's not going to work, I'm not going to bother trying, a simple row cover or, even an old bed sheet over top of your tomatoes is going to protect them. So why wouldn't I do that? It's just, making sure that the tomatoes I planted survive and get to grow and produce their yield for me. You could also use a mini hoop tunnel in the garden for weeks in the spring or in the fall. And that's just hoops covered in clear plastic or row cover. You can DIY them in like 5 minutes, capture solar energy, create a microclimate around vegetables. And I like to use them over things that, well, as you guys know, need a lot of heat, like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, melons. When you live in a cool climate, especially in spring, it's not always great weather for those heat-loving crops. So using a mini hoop tunnel for a week or two in spring, again, just garden insurance to make sure they're going to basically produce their maximum harvest and grow really well. So for me, that's one of the main reasons. Also for pests, like I get cabbage worms. I do have deer. I just watched 3 bunnies dancing in my backyard, and I'm like, please don't come in the garden. Potato beetles, squash bugs, vine borers, all of these things. So again, there's so many types of covers you can use to reduce damage and enjoy that homegrown harvest.
Well, when you speak about that insurance, whether you've grown and started, 70 or 80 or 100 tomato plants, or you went and bought 50 tomato plants, there's an investment of cost and time that, it's great to know that the garden center is there, that if you do have an oops, you can go grab 2 or 3, but whenever you you have to go grab another 50 or 60, that's going to hurt.
Exactly. And like you say, I grow most of my own, about 95% of my own seedlings. So if I lose the tomatoes I grew, to a deer or to frost, then I'm not going to be able to grow those again until next year. So, it's protective covers. It just means I'm going to get to enjoy the varieties I've planted. So, and saves money, like you say. Win-win. What can you do?